Oh, just wheeling. So if you've been following along on the channel, obviously you can see we got the Redcat Racing KAIJU behind me. We did a wheel swap from the HoBao MT Sport Plus. Took the wheels that are actually on this vehicle right here, and we swapped them onto this truck right here, which definitely gives it a more aggressive trick truck look. I mean, when you look at that thing, just looks like an absolute animal in its current configuration. So the point of last night was trying to get a speed test. The only thing we changed, obviously, is the size of the wheels, which will increase the speed. But then that's also based upon how torquey the motor is, right? We got the wheels actually on there, and if you can see, right now, because we have a larger set of wheels on there, you can see that there is a excessive amount of outward toe. And you can see that it's not really the screen that's doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take off the body, adjust the turnbuckles so that these wheels are a little bit more in line, hopefully being able to give the vehicle more of a chance of a higher top speed with these wheels on. And this is only just a test. This is just wheels that I had on hand that I figured, you know, I might as well try them and see what happens. And then after we do a couple of speed runs, we'll go out back and see how the thing handles with the size tires that are on it. Now, what's nice that I'm noticing, right, is that we are still getting, I mean, watch this. So, I mean, when you put that bigger tire on there, you can see it's now got a massive amount of clearance, which I think that's awesome. So when you dive down this front end, check it out. It is so close to hitting, but doesn't. And I'm feeling like, almost bashing-wise, that's actually going to be a little bit of a plus to where, instead of having such a massive amount of chassis slap, which, yes, I understand kind of saves the shocks a little bit, but I'm feeling like it's going to assist. The other thing that we're going to do is I'll take the body off so I can show you what I'm talking about. The other thing that I want to do is I want to take all of the spring rate out of this front shock, and I'm actually going to increase the tension in the rear to hopefully give it a little bit better of a pitch. So instead of the rear end squatting as it's going, which it's a very light amount of pressure, which is good. It's good for thrashing and bashing, but for a speed run, I don't want that rear end to be squatting while the front end, while it allows the front end to start going ahead and start doing wheelies. So we're going to adjust the toe. We're going to adjust the rear springs, adjust the front springs, give it hopefully a little bit more of a arc, I guess, forward, you know, down. So yeah, so instead of having the Cali look that it's got right now, we're actually going to give it the New England look. So anyways, if you're interested in watching this episode from RC Guy Garage, this is literally just me doing stuff on the Redcat Racing KAIJU. So let's just watch the video, right? Because that's what this is all about. Just watch it. And while you're there, thumbs up. Why not? Again, you want to give me a thumbs down, go ahead, that's cool too. But I'd rather have the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And then if you share the video, holy crap. I mean, that would be awesome. So let's get into this. The other thing that we're going to be addressing is why the fact that this little battery is pulled out of this piece of garbage Sky RC GPS. First things first, well, one of the things that I noticed right away was the fact that that turnbuckle, when you look at the threads on this side right here, you've got, I don't know, like 4 threads exposed as opposed to no threads exposed on this side. So what I want to do is I want to even out this, I guess this turnbuckle as far as, you know, what's exposed threads per threads. We're going to be turning this out, so yeah, I have no idea how many threads are on the end there, but as we turn this out, we may end up having, you know, like way less threads on this side than we do this side being exposed. And obviously on this side, it looks like it's the exact opposite. So this side The actual arm itself is almost no threads, where there's threads exposed on that side. Again, it's one of those things where these things are mass-produced, and it's not like the people that are assembling these units or the machines that are assembling these units, whatever it is, whether if it's a human or whether if it's a machine. I'd like to think that if it was a machine, it would do a more accurate job, but you got to remember that they're not thinking about, you know, how something should be screwed in. They're literally just knowing that maybe those arms are supposed to be a certain width, whatever, so that's just some of the stuff that you come across. We also will be diving into the differentials and the center diff on this unit just to inspect and see what's going on with them. I'm not hearing anything wrong, but like a typical, you know, unit that you buy, sometimes it is a good idea to go ahead and, I guess, you know, look into it. You know, maybe not after you've killed it like I have, but this is just the way I do it, and yeah, so let's just get back into this thing. Because I want to make it even, I'm going to actually pull this wheel off for now, so I can actually take at least one side of that rod out. So these little turnbuckles, right? You can use either a 5.5 or a 13/64 wrench, which the 13/64 seems to fit a little bit better. The 5 mil, did I say 5.5? The 5 millimeter seems to be a little tight, but it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take it off of this side first, and then I'll kind of, I guess, even it out. Now I know I obviously want to, you know, pull that section out. So yeah, we'll just take this apart. So I'll go 2 millimeter. So it looks like these screws are actually a 2 millimeter. Slide that out. Feels actually pretty nice. Then I'm going to take that 13/64, and let's see, am I going the right way? Yeah. So I'm turning it counterclockwise to actually bring it out. So we expose, I want to basically just expose an even amount of threads, which we're pretty much there right now. Now I just want to make sure that this turnbuckle is exactly where I want it to be. So it looks like I just want to kind of crank this just a little bit clockwise, like that. Reinstall it. Man. See, when you set up a camera, you just want to make sure like you're not getting in the way. That's the tough part, man. Now remember, these are plastic, so don't overcrank stuff. Now I want to throw that wheel back on. Don't these wheels look absolutely mint on this thing? All right, so how are we looking? Definitely see that was a nice change. Now, I want to do the same thing on the other side too. So you can just skip ahead. It's not like you have to watch, you know, this stuff. If you want to just skip to, you know, the actual speed run, just do it. You know, that's the whole point. Just you're the one that's in control of what you're watching. So I'm going to pop this side out as well, because I can see we've got threads exposed on this upper part and no threads exposed, or at least a thread exposed on that lower end that's actually contacting the knuckle. So like I said, 2 millimeter, pop that out, and the 13/64. And this time what I want to do is I actually just want to spin this end, and I want to spin it out So I'm going to have, obviously, the wrench holding on to that, and I will spin this. Wow, that was messed up. Did you see that? I'm going to spin that out so I have an equal amount of threads showing, just like about, right about there or so. Reinstall it. I want to see if, is this arced? So, the end actually is not arced. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking the ball end to see whether if one side is taller than the other, because sometimes you have a side that's actually taller, or you have a slight little arc in the actual arm, but it looks like it's symmetrical. So we'll just go with that right there. Put this back in. Throw the wheel back on. All right. So now, other than adjusting the the trim left to right, that I'm actually liking. It does have a slight outward toe on that side, a slight outward toe on that side. So maybe that was like the whole point. Maybe, like, you know, when they did it, it was just adjusted too far in. I don't know. That works for me though. I'm liking that. So I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this wrench. Well, actually, I'm gonna take a battery and just toss it in right now, and then crank it on, and then just see if our steering trim is adjusted just for now. Then we'll just take it out for a quick rip and see what we get on the speed meter, which I'm using my phone, or a spare phone that I have right now, because that piece of crap GPS just, I don't know, it's total waste of money, man. I'm basically saying don't buy that one, because I think, in my personal opinion, for what you're buying, piece of crap. So I take that little jumper wire and just connect that jumper wire for now, just so I can connect a pack, a single pack. We'll use my Zop Void pack just to give it some juice. The other thing that I noticed, come on. I guess not. Guess I'm not going to use my... Oh, come on. You need a damn adapter? All right. Yeah, that's right. I'm not prepared, but it is what it is. My videos are literally just, it is what it is. All right, we'll have that off. We'll turn the remote on, turn the truck on, let it kind of connect. Visually, yeah, check it out. Visually, it actually looks like it's dead on. So, yeah, perfect. Now, the only thing else that I noticed, which you can probably see if I put the camera like this, check out the actual camber on that wheel compared to that wheel. And it's not because we've got the battery in there. There's an excessive amount of camber actually on that side, and when you look at that turnbuckle, you can see we've got minimal amount of threads showing on this side, and on this one, it looks like we've got even amount of threads. So what I'll do is I'm going to take off this back wheel, and I'm going to adjust that camber, which obviously we're going to take off that, you know, top little arm. It is an RTR out of the box, and on my channel, I do run things out of the box unless it's like, well, I guess I can't say unless it's an expensive vehicle, but most of the time, maybe I run things OTB if it's, you know, not something like that's crazy, you know, out of whack. So let's just let's adjust that rear as well. So we don't need this on anymore. take off this back wheel. The other thing that I had noticed, right? I can't remember what wheel it was, but one of these, one of the set screws that's actually inside the hub for the pin was not actually tight, so I don't know if I even checked this one. But that's also a 2mm. And what you do is you can just take a 17, then just take your, you know, take your 2mm and then just kind of crank it in there and make sure it's all set. I think it's a 17. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. So on this one right here, on this turnbuckle, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this piece out and I'm going to expose an even amount of threads like I see, you know, from on that right side. And I'm going to transfer it onto this left side. So we just need, again, I think a 2mm. And then, I'm not sure what size that is. So that's a 5.5 box for that lot, for that nylock. It's nice stuff here, I'm telling you. Sometimes it's one of those things where you almost like feel like you want to put some type of lubrication in there, but you know you're asking for trouble, especially if it's not booted. So, get my 13/64ths, counterclockwise it. Oop, sorry, clockwise it, not counterclockwise. That's what's going to bring it out. So it looks like we've got same amount of threads exposed now. Put the dog bone back in place. Now that is positioned actually on its furthermost, like outer, you know, on that block. Give it a quick little check. It's got to be way better than it was. All right, so what my eyes can see, which you could probably see it too, now that wheel is actually pretty much sitting flat, where that one does have a little bit of camber to it. So I think for a speed run, what I'll end up doing is I'm going to adjust that backside so that my wheel is actually sitting more flat, because I'm liking the way that actually is sitting. So is it even? Yeah, that one I'm actually going to tip out just a little bit more. Yeah, that seems like now that's definitely way more even. See what I'm saying? Now from right to left, it's definitely a lot more flat. And then we do have just an outward amount of toe actually coming forward. So, yeah. So I think that'll work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all the preload off of the front shocks, and we're going to actually load up the rear shocks to hopefully stop it from squatting down so much, and then maybe that will also assist in, you know, less upward tick of the vehicle once it's, you know, flying or ripping down the road. So I'm just going to pull down on the spring, crank these collars all the way up to the top. It's got junk in there. Good enough. Same thing on this side. Crank it all the way up. Now on the back side, now we want to actually preload these springs. So I'm actually going to crank it all the way down to the bottom. Now this is just for a speed run. So, there we go. That side, crank this side. Good enough. So now the front has, yeah, so, all right, so you can see it right away. So this is what I'm trying to go after. I'm trying to go after that rear end being higher than the front end naturally. So, I'm thinking that's actually going to help. That way we're not going to have any squat. Hopefully, you know, as I lay into that trigger, you know, gradually, I'm thinking having less squat in the rear is going to stop, you know, maybe the air from getting underneath this vehicle, because obviously now that we've raised up the truck just in wheel size, the air is going to want to more get under there. And with the way that truck body's designed anyway, it's not really designed for speed runs. It's designed for bashing. And then obviously, you know, you saw that truck can actually, you know, self-right itself and do backflips, and just, it's a crazy trick truck. But right now what I'm doing is I'm just want to see what we're going to get for speed. So now we're ready for speed. So yeah, let's just take this thing outside and we'll rip it on the two HRB 5000s, 6S, see what the max speed is that we can get. Then we'll readjust the suspension. We'll take it out for the out back just for some bashing on these much larger HoBao MT Sport Plus wheels. So, yeah, let's just go. All right, so we got Note 8 sitting right here. Got this, obviously, Note 8 working. We actually got the GoPro on now. Remote's on. Gonna switch on the KAIJU. And we'll obviously just check the GPS. Unlock. That right there, I think that's the one. Boom. Oh, come on, back out. That right there. I want to lock the screen into position. So we are all set and ready to rip. The only thing that's going to kill it right now is there's obviously a little bit of wind, but this thing will give a distance and a max speed, and we're going to see how fast this KAIJU can rip on those tires and wheels. So let's just rip it right now. All right, so apparently that's not going to happen. Oh my God. We're trying to do it, man. It's just, this truck has just got so much rip on 6S that we only got a top speed of 21. So, and that's with the front end dive down. So we're going to back out of here. Yes. I'm going to actually try it again. We'll lock the screen. We're going to try it one more time. See if we can get a max speed. No, it's not going to do it. No, too uncontrollable. Especially even on these tires right here. Tried. Oh, do a standing wheelie. Oh, that's it. Just broke the KAIJU. Oh no. All right, well, let's see what happened. Yep. Killed it. Oh my God. Well, you saw it. Let's see, what's the max speed? Still only got 40 miles per hour max speed. But we have finally broken the KAIJU, and doesn't matter what vehicle it would be, it would have broken anyway. So, yeah, there you go. You saw it from RC Guy Garage. We just killed the KAIJU. So there's the aftermath. Yeah, that was a good hit, man. Broke some good parts. So, well, again, is what it is. So we'll just order up some parts, and man, really broke a whole bunch of stuff on this thing. Like I said, it is what it is. So you want to play, you got to pay. Nothing would have not broken by hitting a mailbox post. So yeah, oh well. Well, we'll rip something else. Too bad, little KAIJU.